Hello, I'm Opal Palmer Adisa, and I'm reading from my book, Look a Moko Jumbie. And the reason why I wrote this book was because I lived in St. Croix for 7 years, and in St. Croix, Moko Jumbies are at all of the fairs and the festival. And I was really fascinated that they had created an art form out of stilt dancing, which originates in Africa. The costumes were amazing, and the skill of the dancers were also amazing. And so I wanted to write this book to celebrate that, but I also knew and heard and observed that some children, upon seeing Moko Jumbies on their tall stilts, were sometimes afraid. So this is the story about the Moko Jumbie, and particularly it's the story about Dambele and his quest for Moko Jumbie. Last night, just after Mummy turned off the light and said, "Sleep tight," I saw Moko Jumbie standing by my window. I was about to scream out when he put his fingers to his lips. I zipped my mouth, my eyes wide. I looked to see if Baku, my twin sister, saw him, but she had fallen asleep even before Mummy turned off the light. I blinked and looked at the window again, and now there were two Moko Jumbies. They folded their hands together and leaned their heads on their clasped hands. They looked like one perfect split peas in a shell. "Go to sleep. We will protect you," they said. And then, just like that, they got swallowed up by the darkness. I closed my eyes tight, and soon I was asleep. I woke to find Daddy sitting on my bed, shaking me gently. "It's time to get up and get ready for school," he said, leaning close to my ear. "Daddy," I said, still in bed, "do Moko Jumbies ever visit you at night?" "What do you think?" "Can't say they have," he said, helping me out of bed. "But Daddy," I pleaded. "Not now, Bamindele. Time for school. Ask Grandpa when you see him this weekend." When Daddy left the room, I whispered to Baku, "I saw two Moko Jumbies at our window last night." "No, you didn't," she said, sticking out her tongue and racing to the bathroom ahead of me. I stuck out my tongue back at her and went to look out the window. As far as I could see, there were no Moko Jumbies, just the chickens and the roosters. I looked to the left, but I saw just the mango and the plum trees full of fruits. I looked to the right, but I saw just Tiger, our boxer, leashed, sitting on his hind legs behind his kennel. I peered further, and I saw an iguana, head raised, listening but not moving. I looked all around, but all I saw was the sky and the day. No Moko Jumbies. At breakfast, I asked, "Mummy, can a Moko Jumbie get into my room?" "No, Bamindele. Why do you ask?" she said, rubbing my back. I saw two Jumbies last night by my window just after you turned off the light and closed the door behind you." "Really? What did they do?" "They told me to go to sleep and that they would protect me." "You are very lucky to have your very own Moko Jumbies protecting you and your sister. Eat up now so we aren't late for school." Mrs. Charles is my teacher, and she knows everything. So I asked her, "Mrs. Charles, do Moko Jumbies ever stand by your window at night?" "Not that I know of, Balmondeli, but it's their job to protect us and guard our community. Now take out your book so we can begin our reading for the morning." At lunchtime, I told my best friend Jamal that two Moko Jumbies were standing at my window last night. Were you scared? He asked. Before I could reply, he said, sometimes I see Moko Jumbies at Carnival or at the Agric Fair. They scare me because they're so tall. He bit into his Johnny cake. I know, I said, and they wear masks, and they cover their faces, and they dance and prance around like skyscrapers, Jamal added. And they don't have feet like us, I shouted, and they wear hats and gloves, he squealed. And they are spirits, we both screamed and ran off. Saturday, when Baku and I went to visit our grandpa, he was standing by a coconut tree drinking coconut water. Grandpa, I said as he gave Baku and me each a coconut jelly, will the Moko Jumbies hurt me if they stand by my window? No, sir, said Grandpa. Then he leaned against the coconut tree, a smile and a faraway look in his eyes. Moko Jumbies are here to protect and keep us safe. They are the good spirits of our ancestors. As long as Moko Jumbies are around, we will continue to be safe and prosper as a people. I looked to see what Grandpa was staring at. I saw Moko Jumbies dancing all over his land, between the coconut trees, among the banana trees, even under the flamboyant tree in the middle of the lawn. I felt happy seeing the Moko Jumbies. I called to Baku, and she, Grandpa, and I joined the Moko Jumbies and danced all over Grandpa's yard. And one of the things I love about the Moko Jumbies when they present themselves throughout St. Croix and the U.S. Virgin Islands is that they always invite the crowds to dance. And because they're so tall on their stilts, a lot of time children and people dance between and around their legs. And so it seems appropriate to me that I should end this book, Look, a Moko Jumbie, with the dancing of the Moko Jumbies, which is a tradition. And although they can be frightening for children because of their size, they are a part of the culture and the tradition. And the tradition is believed in St. Croix that Moko Jumbies are the good spirits of our ancestors, and they're there to protect the community. I hope you enjoy this book, and I want you to look at all the trees that are in your yard or in your community and see if you can identify them. And I also want you to think about something that might make you afraid, like sometimes young children are afraid when they see the Moko Jumbies, and think of how something that makes you feel good and happy, and how you can get rid of that scary feeling. Thank you for listening. I am Opal Palmer Adisa, and I am the author of Look, a Moko Jumbie. And I'll read to you and share with you another book another time. Enjoy.